Some cool people are born today,
Live
man.
streaming is on.
So, or question, do we want to do it like an hour today?
I would say, hey, we got the 2 hours. Let's see where the flow takes us.
Okay.
And if we feel like ending early because it's like whatever, then let's for sure end early. And if we're in a flow, like, oh my God, let's not stop it.
Sounds good. Yeah, for me, Giveth is like the best birthday present to work with you. So
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna share my screen. We have a few questions from the last time, which are, what stage are we in? Okay, proposed stages and potential customers. We finished last time not ending up with this thing. Maybe we can also finish this and cluster stuff together and kind of distribute the directions of work or prioritize what we want to start with.
I can see your screen. I don't know.
I think your connection. Do you see my screen?
No, but I'm just trying to grab the doc and the other resources. Are we going back to the Miro as well?
That's what we need to decide. What would be the priority? Because last time we haven't discussed a bit about like our, maybe midterm planning. What are we trying to achieve in the midterm? Because I saw 2 questions on the stages. So we might want to start discussing stages a bit and then continue with mural. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, that sounds good. Cool. Well, I can definitely kind of start that conversation if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the question is like, what stage are we in, and maybe also like, what is the general roadmap that we're trying to follow? Because I'm not as skilled or aware of the general path that everyone uses to build apps. So I maybe just having an overview of what that is would be useful. I don't know, Max, do you want to?
I have a proposal how we can work with that. I propose to brainstorm the potential stages. For example, launch the application, got 10 customers, got this funding, got this validation. And when we outline the stages, we can discuss what goes first and what goes afterwards, what stages are connected and how. And that would build some roadmap. How do you feel about that?
Sounds great.
Okay, so let's just. Would you like to do that in the mural?
Sure.
Cool. I'll send the link again to the chat. Just on the right from the value proposition map, let's just create the red, the yellow stickers, and just write the stages you see happening soon, or in the midterm or in the long term.
Let's see. I think I need to switch. I need to switch my internet router to a different one, so I might lose you for a second.
Sure. Everybody can do that, right? Nobody's on the phone.
No, I'm on the phone. I can't do that. Sorry, I'm listening.
You can text the stages you think, and I'll put them to the mural. Okay. Also, I haven't mentioned, but it would be great if you would state the text on the cards as the like something we can see as achieved. So, for example, apply for grants might be like we can't check if we like apply for 10 grants or get funding from grant. Maybe you want to frame it in this way. And I'll put, I don't know, another minute to that. Danny, but can you see the screen I'm sharing?
Oh, I'm just looking straight in the mural, but it's
I can restart the share. Yeah, now it works.
yeah. Now I can see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody needs another minute, or we finished? Okay, I've created the timeline starting from November 19. I don't know where we will end, but let's try to distribute how you feel. You know, what would be the order of the things. Yeah, and let's just play a bit with it, and then we will see some potential conflicts or things to discuss, and that will be the productive way to discuss.
What is design app?
Yeah. App design is ready. It's before we build something, we need to design it.
Yeah.
So it goes before the.
Make pretty pictures. Mean
Hmm?
make pretty pictures. What does it mean?
I don't know. Let's see.
I think it's like making designs, basically.
They don't need to be exactly on the line, but somehow distributed across the line. Some things can be in parallel. I'll just put it below so we will have more space.
Mm-hmm. I actually don't see any final like, card.
What should be the end point?
Become a unicorn.
Ah.
That I mean.
Yeah, that's by the way good to think. Like, where do we want to end? What is the success?
Yeah, like
I mean, I guess 100 people using it, 1,000 people using it, right?
Let's dream big. Maybe let's like put it like undefined, but like just to dream. I don't know.
Well, I did you see my 5-year dream?
Tell me.
Let me see. Let me see if I can find it.
Mars colony is operated on Giveth.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's best to just find it for you. So I'll just share this doc.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it in Giveth too. So basically, the dream is that we're maintaining a whole bunch of code bases where people are using it, and people are using that code base to build orphanages, to launch environmental awareness campaigns, to create large-scale infrastructure projects. They're using blockchain incentive alignment tools to fund fund nonprofit applications using the Giveth app. So it could be our DAI, that money that people can hold DAI, and it's just directly funding an orphanage, right? Like you guys have seen our DAI,
Okay.
and the Giveth app would enable these things. It would enable things that blockchain incentive alignments and blockchain like economic frameworks to start doing good work, and it would be used for insanely important projects.
Sounds great. Hey guys, when you look at this timeline now, do you see any conflicts or like problems, or what do we like? Is everything right or not? I'm not sure. Like, I see some point about propose to common stack, apply for 3 grants, and receive funding as I don't know how is it connected to like is common stack our primary source of funding as we see it now, and if it's
I definitely see it as a huge opportunity to get almost $250,000 to build this.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Anything else needs to be changed? Griff, how do you feel? Like, it was your initial question on where are we now and what are the milestones? How do you feel about the current results?
Yeah, it looks good. App is self-funding. It seems like get the app dev funded for 3 to 6 months. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I feel like that it's curious. It's interesting where that flows. I like the Mars colony. I think that is the end goal. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So our current like nearest milestones are make CastDev, make competitor analysis, build team roles, create update narrative, brand story, and define specifications, right?
Mm-hmm. What is custom?
It's customer development, and we might want to specify what are the outcomes. Whose card is that? Is it yours?
Yeah, it's mine. We understand who our customers are. We totally understand their needs.
How would you know that this task is done?
I got I don't know, 5 out of 5 positive feedbacks regarding the app that it satisfies needs.
Or at least 5 positive feedbacks.
Yeah. But out of how many?
5 positive feedbacks from whom? From founders or?
Yeah, from founders, definitely.
I love it. But
In
maybe
this case, yeah, we need to.
Maybe it will be then
a
bit
later.
Like where? Like here, maybe?
Yeah, design.
Yeah, okay. Cool. If I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Let me take a screenshot to the
So our goals right now need to be to do competitors analysis, update the narrative and brand story, and build a team. I almost feel like building a team though might be after specifications. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll build team roles. I guess it can start there.
Yeah, we might want to also specify what do we understand by what would be how we understand we achieve this milestone.
Because we would need developers definitely after we have the design. Definitely, it's a longer process.
Okay.
Well, maybe we'll say 3. I think we can pull 4.
Mm-hmm. How, like, what is missing now? Like, when there are currently like 5 people on the call or more. What is missing?
What roles? You want to do the roles now?
So what you mean is like people, but we don't have specific obligations. Like you do this and I do this. Okay, gotcha.
Well, it's more. Yeah, it's like who is the team building this, right? Like maybe it doesn't need to be defined. Maybe it doesn't need to be on there. I'm open to that, but
it's okay with me. Kay, you also had this question about stages. Does it answer your question, or do you want to make extra input?
I don't think Kai's on anymore. He got replaced by Bowen.
Okay, but we have Bowen. Hi, Bowen. Are you with us?
He's muted.
We can't hear you.
That's okay. He might just be listening in.
Okay.
It's pretty early where he is.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So due to this thing, the first thing is competitor analysis, right? Yeah. Then I will change features. Features would go afterwards. Competitor analysis. Going to the next point. Yeah, there are services, and there are like there are more and more every day, like our DAI project, Grief Shared, and I've seen Autark deployed projects to Aragon operation system. So, and yeah, we also have a list somewhere with Yeah, there's analogs. Who do we also consider as who do we need to compare with? Aragon Outark, maybe.
How does DAOstack dish out? Like, how do they fund proposals?
Well, the thing with DAOstack isn't itself a funding place. It's a technology. Genesis is in a way, but Genesis is focused on their stuff. But there are many more DAOstack.
Well, do they do like what Moloch does, where it just sends money somewhere and that's it? There's no escrow.
You want me to share how DAOstack Genesis works?
Specifically around the like deployment of funds.
So currently Genesis is funded by DAOstack. DAOstack sends 10 to 20K per month or per week, as far as I remember. And like this, it's not a lot of funds they send. And they have several, so to say, community managers that run calls on how to protect their DAO, how to improve proposals, how to improve the responsibility, because previously there were problems where people got funds but didn't deliver on time or ever. And currently it's really closed community in many ways. It's unless you're there, I think it's not easy to request funds. It's much easier because like you need to get the support from the community, and if you're a no name, you would basically be not seen and have not much trust unless you have a really brilliant proposal. So currently it looks like somewhere who's hanging out with Genesis, somehow like me, for example, I can create a proposal and then send a bunch of my friends who have reputations there the link saying like, please support my proposal, and get like 10 people supporting it, maybe like 1 to objecting, and then I get the funds. This is how it works now.
Okay. And then those funds are not sent to an escrow.
Yeah, they just, whenever the proposal passes, they are transferred to me instantly. Okay. Or at least it's the last date I've seen. Maybe they add some freeze time or something, I don't know. But yeah, no escrow. It's directly sent. That was the problem with the people disappearing with money. Yeah. It's not like a huge problem. Not many people do that. But somebody said, I will write this article, gets his like $500. The proposed timeline was like 3 weeks or 2 weeks. 3 weeks passes, no article because guy was pretty busy, and we need to hire police to chase this guy then.
Hire police?
Yeah, anyway, they did this responsibility force or something. So like they will fund this kind of group of people who will check with and remind and check the quality of stuff delivered, and they can be the authority saying like, let's take away for example the reputation of the person if he hasn't delivered.
Okay. Wow. Well, I mean, I guess that's a little bit of some kind of social contract there. Like.
It was in Genesis. Yeah.
Okay.
They might also get it in Moloch, I think, at some moment, because Moloch also transfers funds like instantly, almost.
Yeah.
But maybe let's discuss what are the criteria. So for example, like Griff, you want to put funds in something, like you want to fund some good stuff. What would be the criteria on which you would compare those services?
Usability. How do they solve disputes? Or if they can even, like, is it, how charity focused is it? How dev focused is it? Does it have escrow or not? Because some things are just routing money, right? Like, okay, donate here, money goes there, that's it, right? You're supporting these guys. Some of them are like, because that's like how Spring works by We Trust. and then Crypto Unlocked is like, we'll give you money if you solve that, and if this happens, and whether or not that happens is actually resolved by Augur. So yeah, it's kind of like is there escrow or not? If there is escrow, how is the dispute solved?
Maybe the size.
Because I do see Giveth as like one of the big things is that it's an escrow application on top of on top of everything else.
I will say that
Bounties.network should be on there too, actually. Let's see.
Oh, cool. And you mentioned dev focus. What do you mean by that?
Well, so like Gitcoin, for instance, isn't really for charity as much as it is for other, yeah.
Okay.
So like,
So,
what
like,
is their focus?
Sort of software.
Like, just in general, what is their focus? Like, yeah, is it open source, or is it charity, or is it DAO escrow, or
okay. I also added like stability, bug security criteria. So how stable and how like can I trust the money and they won't be stolen or something. And the size of the platform, how many people use it, so how many other funders would support the projects I invest in, and so on. How old is
it kind of goes with stability, bug security.
Yeah. I also write who's behind, and what assets it can use. So is it just Ethereum, or would they accept DAI, or would they accept any ERC20? Yeah.
Maybe something like onboarding.
Maybe
Well, I mean,
it should be, right?
If we're going that route, then there's a lot of things that are outside of Ethereum. I was definitely just staying in the Ethereum space, but there's like, I mean, Zcash has a funding thing. I would say Dash.
If you're gonna go fiat, should we compare ourselves to the other donation platforms?
Open
Like
Collective.
not crypto, yeah, like Open Collective, a good example. Kickstarter, GoFundMe. Yeah, Patreon. But Patreon, yeah, let's anyways, like we better have more than less.
I don't know how to spell Patreon. Let's see. What else?
We can add them over time.
Yeah, sure. It's just to start this work. Are you familiar with the Blue Ocean strategy?
No.
I'll send it in a second. So it is a like known management strategy like framework. It's telling that we shouldn't compete on the markets which are over saturated. So if you see my screen now, For example, can you see this graph
Yep.
on the right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they take this criteria, I don't know what is it in this example, but like how fun, humor, how unique, concession. I don't know what is it about, but anyways, there are criteria, and you kind of rate different competitors. So if we see, for example, one normal competitor, one competitor which is a bit better in some ways, but we shouldn't create, compete with them on the criteria that are already good enough. We can totally like skip them and just see what they don't even look at, yeah, this is about Cirque du Soleil. So Cirque du Soleil was like one of the best examples of, how you can win this strategy. So circuses were all like really losing demand in last like 20 years. And now Cirque du Soleil is like one of the most expensive unknown shows because they totally missed the animals and they focused on the like theater part of this thing and uniqueness. And the blue ocean in this way is that you don't compete in the red ocean full of blood where sharks eat fish, and put lots of spend lots of money to go you, but you find the blue oceans where you cannot take and the main guy, basically, our main platform.
Okay. Yeah, I like that strategy.
Yeah, so what we can do, we can analyze current competitors we outlined based on this criteria and build this graph. So, for example, we have, I think it's really hard, it will be hard to compete, for example, with Gitcoin in open source because it's like consensus is behind it and lots of projects are there and so on. The guy who builds it is also great. So we could kind of see like what niches are already taken and, for example, focus on, I don't know, usability, because like Moloch is basically one one big usability failure.
Yeah.
I will add, by the way, Moloch based. But I see that as like, I don't know, 1-2 people can do that. We can of course like distribute like you take first 3, I take next 3 or something, but can also ask like 1 or 2 people just to work on that and prepare a report outline what is the current state of the market and what are the niches open for us.
I think the biggest one that's open is DAOs. I mean, I want to see what Aragon is doing. In fact, while we're in this meeting, I'm launching a Rinkeby DAO with the projects app just to see how it works. But just like none of these things work with DAOs really.
Okay, so I'll put differentiator. In a way, DAO House does, but it's really in the early days.
They don't do escrow for DAO. Like I think the dream here is a DAO proposal framework. Where that's interoperable between DAOs and people. Like bounties.network or, I don't know, a lot of these, they're interoperable between people, but they're not made so that DAOs can interact with them. And, Crypto Unlock is probably the closest one that does what we want to do, but it's very limited functionality. They can only, they have a very strict, like, if this happens, then money goes there. Else people can pull back their funds.
Yeah, I've tried to play a bit with We Trust. They created campaigns for Telegraph, but I haven't received funds so far. Because also there is like a time-bound thing, so they will only like we need to somehow say that we did our milestone till the end of the year, and I'm not sure even what I need to do to prove that. But I can check. This is on my task list. We have
Oh, no.
$500 there for Telegraph. Can you imagine?
Nice. I can't. No, actually, I'm sure I threw some money in there.
Oh,
I guess I
you.
can.
It's always you. You could just send money on to the address.
This is the thing. It doesn't, like, me just funding Telegraph won't make it succeed, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
got to be a community buy-in. And like, I actually saw a tweet from the bald guy. What's his name? That's all about ETC. And I actually name dropped Eth Signals like an hour before this in this tweet. Bob Somerville, who's like, he listed all these names and was like, hey, yo, all you people at EIP0, let's like actually follow through. Nothing came of EIP0. It's like, well, fuck it, man, dude. What are you talking about? Telegraph came out as EIP0. Like, we pushed it and then no one took it. So like, yeah. Anyway, off topic.
Okay. I also added the like CLR and community. I like how it works in the Gitcoin CLR program, where some part of funds is distributed based on how other people donate. Even they donate $1, that's a sign that this is a prominent project. And also a community thing. Like, one of the toughest things I found is that, well, let's imagine like 100 people funded me, with $10 or something, but there's no easy way that I could keep in touch with them, share the updates on the project, and persuade them to maybe drop a bit more, because it's just one-time thing. I don't know.
100%, dude. That was a huge differentiation for Giveth, or at least that was the goal. Honestly, we never really. I mean, we have notifications, sort of, but we never really actuated that goal. But I do think that's a huge. I would say community follow up, community connections. Like, one of the ideas of Giveth is that every time value is transferred from one place to another, that's an opportunity to make a network connection. And yeah, this was one of the magics of liquid democracy, or liquid pledging, where you say, hey, I want my money to go to puppies, and then that DAO, which we call DAC, would then move it to a specific puppy charity, and you would get invited to that chat room.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
But we never executed that. And I mean, part of that is like, we don't have the scale to really make it matter, and we just never had the devs that wanted to make that happen be a reality either.
Yeah,
but
sure.
that's like that's why we used Riot, because it would work so perfectly for just creating a room and then adding people to that room and making it integrating Riot into the app.
Yeah, I also seen like big importance in perks. So I donated a couple of campaigns where, like, at first I wanted to donate, I don't know, like, for example, $30, but they say like, if you donate 50, we will send you a T-shirt, which costs like $10. So, and I'm like, oh, I really like this T-shirt. It's kind of cool, and I send $50, and everybody wins.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of the Kickstarter model.
Or maybe like, I don't know, like this 1 hour call with this terrific founder or something else. Or maybe like, if you donate 1,000, you get your logo on the Hall of Fame and stuff like that.
Yeah, we call this the leaderboard. That's how we reference it. But
I will add it as like gamification, including leaderboard.
Yeah. NFTs.
How I mean, like notifications, how do it work with competitors?
Yeah, so we will take this criteria outlined above and the possible differentiators, and we will research all the competitors based on this, all like these two lists, and then we will try to build our graph and show that we won't compete here, here, and here, but we will be like leaders in this, this, and this. This would be our things, like for example, this gamification or something, because there is some like thing in some gamification in the Gitcoin, for example, but it's only the like non-fungible badges.
Yeah, the kudos.
The gamification might be the killer feature because IT guys and crypto guys, they're geeks, so probably would be full gamification.
Yeah, probably. I also like this chat. I think many people joined Moloch just to be in the club.
Definitely. 100%.
Sense of uniqueness. Like,
yeah. You were like in the same room with Vitalik and stuff.
I don't even know if Vitalik's actually in that room.
He probably not, but you kind of say like me and Vitalik invested in Moloch.
True. It's true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm in the curator multi-sig with Vitalik, and I definitely say that sometimes. Like, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely order some of these in like the orders that I think they're applicable.
Yeah, so I see the next step, like somebody, one or several people needs just to, write a blog post or report or something. We can create like a collaborative document, and we just need to define how we will do this. But that would be the huge foundational work for all other things we want to do.
For the so this is the competitor analysis.
Yeah, for the narrative and for the prioritization.
Okay. Yeah.
we can do it like we did on our internal project.
You and me do this?
Yeah, I mean like we've done it on.
Well, what I like about this task is that if you guys model one or two, then it's very easy to split up, right? Because there's all these different competitors. And if you have one or two that can be modeled and really well done, then other people can follow that pattern. Because I know Danny, Bowen, Kai, all want to help, and I think Rafa, I bet Andre, Amin, like these guys that are working on the DApp right now, maybe Rafa as well. Like I think that they would all be interested in grabbing one of these and doing it. But they would need the first one or two modeled.
Okay, let's take first three. We will do it with Stas, I think.
Yeah.
We will start this report, and then like in a couple of days, we will send to the chat, like check it out, the example, and please assign which projects you want to take for further investigation.
I want to take. I definitely want to take the Aragon projects out.
You wanted to take this one?
Yeah, I really. I mean, I know Yalda and Quasia obviously really well, and so like I can just go and ask them some questions really quick too after I play with it, and also find out what their trajectory is. Like I'm going to do that anyway.
Yeah. They just published it. It should be really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And I've already, in fact, I talked to Quasia in Japan about it, but I didn't get the answers I need. Honestly, I should talk to Yalda about it.
Okay. So then we'll let's take let us do We Trust and Gitcoin send you the results. Meanwhile, you will talk to Autark, and you can fill the results of your talk in the format, and then we will build on that. Would it be okay?
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Okay. Great. Then.
And are we doing this in a wiki, or where do you think that we would end up doing this? In this, maybe in this doc, or?
Well, the most ideal for me would be either Excel sheet, because we will like have on the bottom to top we will have the competitors, and left to right we will have the criteria, and on each criteria, for example, criteria usability, and you write like, I don't know, we trust 3 out of 5, like not clear, like this and this, you know, for example.
And I know there's one more escrow service that I know is cool that I can't think of. But I'll add it to this eventually.
Stas has a great point. So we need to make it from the funder point of view, because this is our main persona so far.
Yeah,
as defined before. To be honest, I will just continue with that. I don't it seems I have like a clear task, and want to do that first before we continue. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, and it's pretty massive.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a great place. Just keep it updated in the Telegram chat, which is Bridge to Riot. Okay, cool. Let's see. Is there anything else that we need to cover today then? I mean, it feels like a good stopping point.
It would be nice to hear if guys who are listening or on mute, if they have something to say before we proceed to the closing round.
Sorry, I can finally talk now. How's it going, guys? I've been watching along with everything you're doing, and I think this is a really cool idea. Doing this, did this much analysis go into the first version, or did it just kind of come out of necessity?
No, we had someone. The original spec was given to us by someone to build. So
okay.
Adam said, "Hey, I want this," and then Jordy, Barry, and I were like, "Okay, let's do it." And we built.
Gotcha.
It was kind of an excuse to build the mini-me token, the vault contract, and we made an escrow system that was garbage, called the milestone tracker. It was horrible. That was horrible. But everything else.
Is that what originally was sort of the back end of the POC before?
Yeah. Do you remember the first Giveth?
Yes. Yes.
that was it. Yeah, that was the. And then we decided to create liquid pledging.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sounds cool.
Upstand is apparently doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, really? I saw it before, but
there's.
Okay. So then. Sorry, anybody wanted to tell something?
Yeah, this is Danny. I just, I'll second what Bowen just said. I spent kind of the first part of this meeting getting signed into the Murally and getting caught up on what's in there, because I hadn't been able to see it before now. Griff, if there's any way that I could be a shadow for that conversation with Yalda, I would really love that, and then could carry that forward and follow up with one of the next ones on the list.
Sure. Yeah.
Yalda's so cool.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was on the West Coast anyway, so time zone shouldn't be a big deal. But that will be the biggest challenge, Danny, is just making sure the time zones work.
Yeah, and I'm on East Coast time now, but pretty flexible with when I can be present, so don't put anything around me.
Okay.
Okay, let's then do the closing round. Who wants to start?
I mean, I can start. It was cool to see all of this new timeline thing is really nice to be able to see how we're going to proceed forward. And I will do everything that I can. As soon as we have something to look at, then I will go ahead and assign me a few of these, and I'll be able to also do an analysis for you. And I'll pass it over to Danny.
Yeah, the other thing that I think I heard mentioned was that we might be at a place where a blog post would be good. So that's something I'd be interested in taking a look at, or at least putting something together that we could put out. Yeah, I think we're at a good stopping point too, and love what I see on here. Yeah, thanks. I'll pass it to Griff.
Yeah, it's cool to see kind of a roadmap, or kind of at least something up there. I think it'll be. We threw it together pretty quickly, but I think it fits, and I'm glad that we started attacking it right away. I love meetings where we actually do something that's so cool and so rare. Usually meetings are like just a time sink that is needed, a necessary evil, but nothing actually gets done. It's just like a sinking thing. So this is great. I'll pass it to Max.
Yeah, as mentioned, love working with you. Very pleasure. Center Stas.
Yeah, I think that we're having a good pace on these meetings, that we really have a lot of work done during them. So I hope that we keep on moving with the same speed.
Do we have Loy with us?
Oh yeah, Lorelai, do you want to check in or check out?
Check in. Yeah, thanks guys. I was mainly working on other stuff, and but I'm really happy to see you going through this process and using the great tools to like really lay this out and get us ready for a good roadmap. That's all. Thanks for doing what you do, and have a good night, everybody. Who else needs to check out?
I think that's it.
Yeah. Good night, guys. Hug
Good
you.
Good night,
night.
everybody.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Ciao. I will drink to you today.
Yeah. And ending the live stream.